I did not know that you were a Raiders fan.
Die hard. I couldn't believe it.
Did you know that ahead of time?
I didn't know ahead of time, but when he called me, he's like,
oh my God.
he had on Raider. He has Raider gear in the background, everything.
In the most respectful way possible, I would never assume you to be like a Raiders bad boy fan.
Who would you
think
think
like
would be a fan?
The Patriots.
I knew you'd say it.
Wow, no chance.
Walk up in the light. Yeah, I'm really am. Talking my shit like. I'm really am on God. Walk up in the light. Yeah, I'm really am. Talking my shit like. I'm really am.
All right, y'all, welcome back to The Rush. It's your boy, Maxx Crosby. I got my brothers with me, Brogan Roback, Dustin Creel, Darian Terrell. Today we have a very, very special guest, head coach of the Eastern Michigan University, the one and only Chris Creighton.
Sure.
Finally.
That's it. We appreciate you.
Yeah, I mean, just thinking about you guys coming back and all that, lots of real emotion coursing through my veins. You know, because it's in some ways it was a long time ago.
Sure.
You know what I mean? In some ways, when you come back and you guys are, you know, growing up and it's crazy, man.
Today's going to be a wonderful day. Obviously, the Maxx Crosby Field's being announced. We're going to have a ceremony. A bunch of people that care, love for him, have been around in the journey are here. And then obviously people that have made a huge impact on not only Maxx, but all of us. What does it mean for you to be able to have a day like today? Not only just like us guys coming back, but being able to celebrate a guy like Maxx and donating back to a university that pretty much gave him his only role and that he obviously cherishes and carries on his heart heavily. We
can look at stats and you can look at all this stuff, but like you guys, and we came in on it, you know, believed when no one believed that this was possible. I love the fact that it's Crosby Field, and you said that it's Crosby Field because Rachel is just as much a part of it. And, you know, for the glitz and glamour, it's Maxx Crosby, but I love the fact that it's Crosby Field and her role and you becoming, you know what I mean? Everything that you become. I mean, the depth of all that, right? So it's just not all the, you know, all the fun stuff. It's what you've been through and what you battle and what you've overcome. And for all of you guys, I mean, like, so like the celebration to me is like super deep, man.
Appreciate that.
It's an honor. We appreciate you.
It's like when Dee and I came in, it was like the past year was 6-6, and we thought, you know, it was on that brink of just on top of the hill. We just needed to go over the hill.
Yeah, we all did.
We all did.
Yeah,
did.
All did it. Bahamas Bowl.
I know. I wish we would have won.
Classic.
You know, that's the only thing in my soul where I'm like, God, I want to go back out there for one more, just for a bowl game.
Yeah.
You know,
Don't
or
even
MAC championship.
Don't get me started on the Camellia Bowl. I'm still not over it. I'll
That's
never.
last minute.
That's my last game ever. I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
It still bothers me. I think about it all the time.
Isn't that crazy?
We had him.
The amount of NFL
Had
games
him.
he's played in. And
I swear to God, ask anybody
That's
that
what bothers
I've talked about the story. It bothers me to this day.
More than those 2 games of horse?
I won them. Get that on camera. Game 3.
2-1. Vlog coming
Who
soon.
wins last?
people be like, you play Eastern? And we used to literally look at each other like, do we even tell them where we play? Because like we go to Ann Arbor and people would give us this look and they
Get
would,
embarrassed.
girls at this time when we would talk to them, they would walk away from us as soon as we'd say Eastern Michigan. And so now to see where it's at, there's just so much pride in that where it's like, we're from Eastern and we're going to rep it with pride and we're going to love and carry, you know, like hurt with the guys along the way too. Whether we know them or not, they're part of the family.
That's so
which is
real.
cool. Yeah.
I remember being recruited, and I was in Texas at the time, and it was the same thing. When I committed to Eastern Michigan, I'm getting clowned by people. They're like, they're the worst team in D1. I was getting ridiculed about it. And I was just like, in the back of my head, I'm like, literally what that conversation, we're going to change it. I'm like, we will get the last laugh. I always, in the back of my head, I'm like, we're going to change it.
Recruiting, obviously, I think historically, it probably was, based on what we talked about earlier, it probably was tough to get recruits to come here early on, Eastern. But for you, it's been back-to-back #1 recruiting classes, or you know, #1 in the last few years. So for you, what changed, in your opinion, on the recruiting and being able to get guys to want to come here and to look at this place as a great opportunity as opposed to like, I don't know if I really want to go there?
What you guys did, we've been sort of in that going to bowl games and beating Power Fives, but we've not won a MAC championship. And so the next major breakthrough is, you know, which team is going to believe deeply, go after excellence together, and actually do it. Recruiting is always hard because you're always going after great people who are great players. And the challenge is we're still saying, look, this has been done one time in 130 plus years of football. Let's go win a MAC championship. And it's really, championships. It's not going to be some spike. I mean, as you guys know, the way that this is built, it's been a slow
burn.
Yeah. And so, and today with the transfer portal and all that, it's not the same as it used to be in terms of, that whole development process, but it's not going to go anywhere, when we get there. I'm just saying that.
And I think the biggest plus side for Eastern, truthfully, is like going through you. So in terms of on the outside, when you think of like MAC schools and MAC coaches, it's almost like a stepping stone, whereas you are so, solely focused on you are not leaving this place until we are reigned, the MAC championship. And that is so influential from a recruiting standpoint because now for 4 years or 5 years I'm here, I have Chris Creighton for all 5 years.
It's got the stability
That's a
to it.
great point.
It's been helpful.
So that's hats off to you.
And now it's like a complete curveball because it used to be getting them. Now it's getting them and keeping them because of the transfer portal.
I mean, that's what we have, to battle, money and whatever size of stadiums and whatever. And that's not always going to win. But I know this, some of the guys that have already gone on, we still have conversations, and it doesn't mean that where they went was a better experience.
Yeah, grass is always greener.
And so, there's that, right? There's that. It is different, and we brought in a bunch of transfers from all 5. There are now 4 Power 5 conferences, and that doesn't mean that they're our best transfers. Okay, we got Division II guys who are killing it. We got FBS guys who are killing it. We got Power 5s who are killing it. I think it's 22, from January, and then guys who just got here. And in terms of NIL that we're doing, you know what I mean? 0.
Like when you get here, you're not ready to play. I was not ready to play as an offensive lineman at 18 years old.
Yeah.
Hell no, right? The next 4 years of the development, each year you're getting better. You're getting more of a camaraderie with the group. Yeah. Like that's the stuff you'll never get back if you kind of bail out early, which is kind of my hot take is how I take it.
Yeah.
You don't want to see it through the finish, and that's unfortunate because you're missing out on so many life lessons that you're passing by.
That's so true. That's spot on.
Plus,
Spot on. You see it in the NBA now too. It's
yeah.
like in sports in general, everybody's looking for the next big
Immediate
thing, the big
championship,
super
yeah.
team this, but you're missing out. You end up not winning. You don't have the camaraderie. It takes time to develop, no matter the talent. I was going to ask you too about this, about recruiting. You talk about recruiting classes and the guys you bring in. How much of a challenge is it when you're talking about JUCO guys and transfers? Like, what are the type of traits you're looking for? Because some guys come with baggage. Majority of the time, dudes that go to JUCO had some struggles. Yeah. What are the things that are like, that really stand out that are traits of guys that you want at Eastern?
Hey, so many JUCO guys are a good fit here, man. You guys know that.
That was my whole receiving core.
What?
Oh, man.
Receiving core, OD Dion.
D-line.
Those are friends to this day.
Finally.
No doubt.
Yeah.
We needed those hauls.
Dez, Big Dez.
Yep. I will tell you this, man. In recruiting, whether it's junior college, whether it's transfers, like the 22 transfers, the thing that we do well is that they're all fits. You know what I mean? Or,
Yeah, plug and play.
Well, in terms of our program.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, some guys are better than others on the field and all that kind of stuff, but like, we know who we are so much, and our guys know who we are, that when people come, they feel it. and recruiting is trying to keep people away as much as it is bringing them in. You know what I mean? Yeah. And no one's perfect, but it's like, if you don't love football, right, and you're not going to love your team, and you know what I mean, and work and have an unbelievable attitude, and if you don't want to be developed, also, like, we're doing Victory Day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, we want guys, who are excited about that.
Which is the best.
It is the best.
It really is.
Yeah.
And so, like, we're like, very transparent about who we are and whatnot. And man, there's JUCO guys, there's transfers. We have a tackle who we absolutely love from Mali, West Africa. Whoa. You'll meet him. Yeah, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh. So you might be going against them someday. We're looking for our kind of guys. I don't care, where they're from.
And the blueprint. So it's like they almost have to check these boxes, right? As when they come in and as you're studying, because we know you study them. Yeah. And like, is that how you base it off of, and how they react with the guys and everybody? Because you say, hey, what do you think of so and so?
Absolutely.
What vibe are you getting from him?
Absolutely.
And so I know you care about what your your players' thoughts are on the guys that you're possibly thinking about bringing in too, which is very cool because a lot of kids will say, we don't have a say in anything, or the coaches are doing whatever they want. And I think to go with the culture, you really take the players' input, which is huge, and it's like a two-way street as opposed to you're going to do it my way, and this is the way it goes.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're right.
Being open about it, there's no surprises when you show up. I like that. It's especially as a young guy too. These kids are looking, like you said, you want to get the pat on the ass. Everyone, you get loved up. Oh, it's the greatest time ever, and you show up, it's completely different.
Yeah.
And then guys transfer after a year. Yeah. So I think it's it's not a bold strategy, but I think it's just a effective one. Just seeing the guys, they're running stadiums from 6 a.m. all the way till we came here. So it's cool to see.
But it's no different for you, right? I mean, you want guys in your team,
yeah,
right?
Want to work.
That don't just look pretty, but are going to be great football players that care and are going to work. And
that's what it's about. At the end of the day, it's the work. It's the work you put into it, the commitment, like you said, the obsession. And we have guys, all the time. Even when we had Coach McDaniels or AP, he'll call me and a guy about free agency. He's like, "What do you think about him?" I'll be like, I'll be blunt and honest. This is what I see. This is what I don't.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times, guys will come in. They typically don't, last very long, but they'll come in. Hey, Max, I want to work with you. Get after it, and you could figure out who they are in about a week. You know what I mean? So that's a special thing. Being a captain and stuff. It's like you want to see those guys. The Robert Spillanes, dude, went to Western Michigan. Captain, 150 tackles last year. Dude is exactly who you would think he is. And we played against each other when we were at Eastern. And he shows up every single day. He's the same exact guy, all energy. Those are the guys you want to be on the field with. The talent, like you said, is just get your foot in the door. It's not going to take you, you know what I mean? There's so many guys. You can go on and on. Probably guys you recruited, they're like, this dude's got all the ability, but he couldn't get this right. He couldn't get this. He couldn't put the joint down. He couldn't, stay out of trouble. That shit's real. And it's just, it's cool to see.
Obviously, with the Power 5 conferences joining together now, in your opinion, where does that kind of leave the MAC? Because we rep it with pride, and if you honestly turn on a Super Bowl, half those guys are MAC players, or my favorite part of it too is that they're either mid or undrafted guys.
All the time.
And it's like, and those are great moments to show people like, you don't need to go first round. You don't need to be this top 100 guy. The MAC is here to stay. And I was just wanting your opinion on, with everybody else kind of joining conferences, like where does that kind of leave the MAC in your true opinion?
Who named it the Group of Five? Okay, who was in that?
Here we go.
I want them in this game.
You know what I mean? That said, okay, you guys get to be called the Power Five, and you're going to be called the Group of Five. No, we're the Fantastic Five, or we are the Phenomenal Five. Okay, so let's
Fab
just
Five,
get that
maybe.
fixed.
I like that.
And we lasted longer.
Yes.
Okay, so 1-0.
Name of the game.
I will say this, the MAC is one of the very few conferences that has always known who they are.
Yes.
There's so many like-minded schools, and even regionally and whatnot, and so, I mean, it really is a beautiful thing, and it's strong. And like you said, so the first week of the NFL season is like the first weekend in September, right? So September 7th or September 8th, and there's always an article that comes out and says how many MAC players are on the 53-man roster or whatever. And it's like anywhere from 60 to 80 in the 10 years that I've been here. And it's just like, you know what I mean?
It's crazy.
So it's great football. I know that, if you just take it a year at a time, there's going to be some Fantastic Five or Phenomenal Five, team that's going to be, you know what I mean? Who's going to be playing, at the end of the year.
Tell me if I'm wrong, which I know I'm not, but they should make it like college basketball, because they should give the MAC conference championship an opportunity to go in there, to represent this conference, but B, shock the world. That's what college football is all about. That's what, I don't want to call it amateur sports or whatever, but it's like this is what everybody's tuning into. And you saw when Northern Illinois had Jordan Lynch and those guys that played in the Orange Bowl against Florida State, and they're like, no way. And they end up making a real tough game. And I want that to kind of be the next movement, because it's almost disrespectful to not give these guys the opportunity that everybody else is in there in the same division. It's almost like they treat you like this is D1 and you guys are like D1 and a half. So, and it's like, no, I personally would love to see that in the next coming years of the playoffs.
Well, college basketball, that's what everyone loves, March Madness.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. How many teams get upset every single year? It's every year you get teams from, college basketball is even more, D1 teams, but you see it over and over and over again, but you don't. It's like you said, it's like
Yeah.
the little brother. The other half doesn't get the equal share. But
So you guys all being here, and for Max and Rachel to be coming and bringing family, and this is like such, the track. And let's talk about our track program. Phenomenal. Right?
Beyonce track
And so
from here.
Yeah, historically phenomenal.
Historically phenomenal. Same with the swimming team. Knock on wood if
Yeah.
you're with me.
Let's
yeah,
go.
dominant,
Yeah.
dominant.
So, Coach Parks, who is the best coach at Eastern Michigan, she was like in agreement, like to build their own standalone, stadium. They've obviously earned and deserved that. So it's not like, boo-hoo to the track program.
Yeah,
I mean, no, not
It's
at
like
all.
co-op.
But- so yeah, we're all been trying to do this, and so getting the track out and to make this a football stadium and this beautiful stadium is just awesome. So we were thinking about how are we gonna reveal and unveil it, okay? So the first idea, you don't know this one.
I can't wait.
It's just to
He always
get
has one in the back pocket.
a massive tarp
Yes.
covering the entire. You know how the baseball guys they all run and
yeah.
Yep. And then
So-
softball underneath.
that was our team. Yeah. So you were we're gonna literally unveil the field.
is-
Okay. And then there's no tarp. That's however many acres that thing is now. So we couldn't do that. So this is what we were gonna do until it got ixnayed.
Shout out to CJ.
Yeah.
He's back there.
All love.
I
Shaking his
seconded, yeah.
So we were gonna helicopter Max and Rachel
Yes.
around the stadium from the air, seeing it for the first time, and then land it with our whole team there.
Would you get scared of the helicopter?
I would. Shit.
You said, oh, okay. I'm not going to say what he said earlier.
yeah.
That, about the yeah, okay.
It all makes sense.
Now I
That is true,
understand what
though.
you said.
We'll cut it,
I
but
said,
it all
no,
makes
you don't.
sense.
You don't have to cut.
Well, I
you
do
have
for
to
my
cut it.
sake.
Rest in peace to Kobe.
Yeah.
But I literally after that happened, Brody Hoeing was the person who told me when I first found out the news, and I was sitting there with Rachel, and I'm like, I'm never getting on a helicopter in my life,
Can't.
ever.
So,
and it's
yeah.
it's crazy. It's crazy. But he told me the idea. He's like, I got this great idea. And he's like, your agent shut me down. And he's like, before, and I'm like, why did he shut it down? He's like, well, we were gonna. I'm like, yeah, we're not doing that.
yeah.
I'm sorry.
You know what the
Coach."
best part
he's
is?
like, damn.
You know he's coming in every morning, gathering a group of people. Like, all right, let's talk here. We need some ideas on how we're gonna unveil.
They
the
got
field.
quotes.
I know
They
you put
got
a lot of
approval
time
from
into
university.
Is that not? Would that not have been?
I mean, that
That
would
would've been dope.
have been insane.
That would have been dope.
I'll get in the helicopter if you need me to.
Well,
You'll do it. I'm fully open.
He could have done the
We know.
Antonio Brown on the what did he fly in on the hot air balloon?
Is that what he
we could have
did?
done? We could have done the hot
for
air
camp.
balloon.
They got a lot
He
of
flew
those
into
here.
Napa on a hot air balloon.
Did he really?
That's
Yeah,
aggressive.
he showed up to camp that way with his feet burned off.
Tonight, it's gonna be big.
I love it.
Big time.
So-
Got the family in town. Got a lot of people in town. Yeah, it's
That's-
gonna be amazing.
What does it mean for you? Let's talk. We should hit on that for you being back here, and then obviously for this moment.
From the scrawny, headband, bleached blonde,
hair.
yeah, dude that was out here for the first
Scrawny,
time.
what did he weigh? Do you guys?
212.
220.
212.
Yeah,
209.
212.
Going
First
through
man.
That was
OTAs.
almost our first fist fight.
Yeah, that was it.
How mad were you that he just
212.
wasn't putting the
They were
weight on?
mad.
Well, if you remember this, I thought you wanted to be a model like your
I wanted to be a
brother.
model.
Like
yeah.
your brother.
When I came down to watch
Shout
you
out
play
to Mom.
basketball, and you were like 255.
I was a big boy. I was thick.
He showed up at 212.
Yeah.
Yeah,
212.
he was like that for a few
I
years.
was just playing basketball. No, I was 245 when I left.
Yeah.
I was 245.
Yeah.
But when I came, in my head, just to break this down to you, when you see me play basketball, I was a little thick.
You were.
Couldn't move as well.
true.
And I had a growth spurt, so I put on a bunch of weight. Oh, I didn't even see
nice
that.
chin strap.
Yeah,
Nice
nice
chin
chin
strap.
strap.
Just kissing
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
You
nice.
dancing?
Yes, looks like dude from Waterboy, the linebacker.
Yes.
Oh,
Look at that
classic.
pouch. It looks awesome.
But yeah, I was in my head. I'm like, okay, I feel horrible. Like physically, I wasn't able to move the same. I put on too much weight, so I just started playing basketball. I'd go to school and I would just hoop every day. And there was this like hoop behind the church where I went by myself every day, and I cut down on my calories. And I'm like, I'm gonna cut the bad weight, and then when I get to Eastern, I'm gonna be a lot better athlete, and I'm gonna just put on the weight. And that was what I was gonna do in my head, but it worked to an extent.
It did. I mean,
to an
Just
extent,
took a little longer.
but
that's all.
it kind of had to learn and figure out my body because
Yeah.
I came in, they're like, you need to put on weight right now.
Yeah.
So then I put on like 60 pounds I mean, from food and beer in about a year and a half.
Yeah.
And then I
time.
felt horrible again, and then I met Rachel.
Yeah.
And Rachel was the key. She got me on meal prep. And then going in, once Pat left, I was like, I'm gonna be the starter.
Oh, yeah.
This is my time. I got to get everything in order. And I was like 245, and I felt, I mean, the best I ever had.
When he was here in that moment, did you realize? I mean, I know we talked when he was on scout team all the time back home. We're like,
Right.
Max is good, man.
Bro,
He is good. Did you know, like in that moment, like if this guy really stays at it, puts the weight on, which was a big part of it, he could kind of just do whatever he wants. He
You're
could
talking
have
about
whatever he wants.
his first fall?
Yeah.
So the first fall, so this is what
Because he's surrounded by Jerry and Pat, who were very good players at that time.
Yeah.
very.
Very good.
But so here's the thing. I mean, Scout Team Player of the Year, and people need to hear that.
They do.
It's
You
my
know what I
favorite
mean?
award to this day. I
It's-
swear.
Because and you're going against Wiley.
Every day.
You know what I mean? And so here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Because you were there, saw
Yeah.
it. You know, it's like, I mean, they were absolute wars, and Wiley looked the look.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember saying about Wiley all the time, it's like, if this guy's not an NFL player, I mean, like,
What is?
what is?
Yeah, no,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure.
I mean, his pro day, he
Those
measured
are
6'5".
Yeah.
It's like 303, and he had like a 34-inch vertical.
Yeah.
I was like,
Freakish.
what? I mean, this is freak.
Yeah.
And you didn't stay at 212 for long.
No,
You know what I
I put on
mean?
weight.
But like, that's what I always say about Maxx Scout Team was that those wars with a guy who's now been in 3 Super Bowls, you know what I mean, were, as a Scout Team player, were wars.
For sure.
I mean, it was a back and forth. And then, I mean, Thomas Odukoye is a pretty darn good tight end and all that. And it's just like, you're just hard to block. I mean, I can probably think of sexy ways to saying it, but like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It just comes down to it, yeah.
Yeah, the way you move your body, how long you are, and then of course, you know, your effort. But like, so that was the thing. It was like, man, it's just no one can block him.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if we're going to get to this.
Oh, we better.
But so remember, you and Rachel came in. You know what I mean? After the Camellia Bowl and whatnot.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, that's all.
and in your
good,
mind, you know what I mean? You were being super respectful and all that, but you were already leaving. And I thought I had a great idea. You know, I was like, let's
That's a
take
great idea.
the selfish coach out of it. And then anybody who's telling you that you're going to be the first pick and all that kind of stuff, let's take them out of it.
Yeah.
Let's go with what the NFL guys said.
The committee or whatever it was.
Whatever, there's the program.
Yeah,
that
but
you find
they
out.
wait-
They tell
Yeah.
you what round they think you're going on or whatever.
Nope.
Protected.
And so, like, yeah, I mean, I'm always going to be. I had no idea that you would be this good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, that's probably not what I'm supposed to say, but, but like, I totally believe it now that it's happening. Like, you know what I mean? I do. But yeah, I mean, selfishly, I mean, we beat Pitt in my biggest loss here for our second Power 5 win in Ford Field with the record crowd,
Yep.
Yeah.
defensive player of the MAC, and the whole country knows about him and all that. But like, honestly, too, just so, I mean, your story is perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way that God designed it. And so,
Yeah.
but it's kind of like, even in the very beginning, you never know,
Yeah.
right? How someone's gonna, who they are and how they're gonna
Pan out.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then even at the very end, I was like, yeah, no one can block them, but you know, I still probably just didn't have the experience to know. You know what I mean?
No, for
I didn't.
sure.
I didn't know either. That's the thing people didn't understand. When I came in, and that's why I talk about that plaque that I got that year for Scout Team Player of the Year. It's in my office, front and center, as the most important year of my career. Because when I was in high school, I was a linebacker, and in middle school, I was a linebacker my whole life.
Yeah.
And my first time playing DN was my senior year of high school. I had no idea what I was doing. I was just a big body, figuring it out. And then when I came here, I had the opportunity, even though in my head I was like, I shouldn't be redshirt and I want to play and blah, blah, blah. And Coach Williams was like, no, you're going to scout team. And that year was the most important year of my career because I got to figure out how to play DN without any restriction. I got to figure out, all right, what rushes work for me?
Yeah.
How am I going to be a player? Like, I literally every day was like, I'm just going to get better and better and better. And I'm going against 2 NFL tackles.
Yeah.
I had Cole, who went to the Buccaneers. I had Wiley, who's going into year 8 now. And every day it was just like, I have an opportunity to really figure out who I am as a player.
Everyone
And
kind of
I loved it.
And the head coach at Alabama and the offensive coordinator for the Seattle Seahawks trying to figure out how
Trying to
to
stop me. We're trying to stop me. And I was just at Grub, I'm like, come on.
Yeah, Grub used to
Bring him
get
on.
so mad at us afterwards because he'd be talking shit to Grub, and you know how Grub is. He's
yeah.
fiery. He'd get, he's 180 pounds soaking wet. How are you letting? I'm like, Coach, he's good. You block him.
Yeah.
Like I literally told him one day, I was like, Coach, he should be on the other side because our defense needs help.
Yeah.
I was like, stop
remember
making
that
us
meeting.
better. I was like, he's got to go down there. But that shit was, I was so mad. But yeah, he was. We're all big human beings, and he wasn't as big as he is now at that time.
I vividly remember that.
Yeah, I'm
You
like,
and
what the
Grub.
fuck you want me to do?
Right. We're driving home, and
Max and I
Darren's
are
like,
brawling
here's
on
the
the
thought,
field.
our defense gives up 40, put him on the other side.
I don't know, I'm no mathematician, but it makes sense to
We need to
me.
block him.
Yeah, no, it was real though. It's hilarious because I remember me and Grub are still cool. We talk from time to time, and I still remember those. And Coach Keene too. He ended up being the OC.
Yeah.
They I could tell they liked what I was doing, but I was at that time I'm a kid. I'm like, yeah, block me, blah blah blah. To this day, it's even worse. And you could ask our coaches now. Oh my God, I'm berating the sideline after every sack. I'm like, send more, send more.
I love that though.
Oh, that's I give myself.
I don't know if you know.
You didn't love it when you were the quarterback, though.
Hey,
How you guys didn't kill each other,
I know. We tried. Remember, we were
tried.
grabbing each other's face masks, then we had to do up downs for about 20 minutes as a team.
That was
we
in
talk about this
spring
to
ball.
this day. So.
It was in spring ball. It was in the depths of spring ball where you're week 3 going against the same guy every
nothing
day.
worse.
Yeah.
Everyone is just angry at each other.
Yep.
And it was, you could tell the tension was just brewing. And it started earlier in the day. Coach Pete goes to Breck and he's like, he was sick of me running by the quarterback, touching the quarterback. And he's like, hit him in the nuts when he runs by. Hit him in the nuts. I run by, Breck ducks and hits me right in the sack. I'm like, you mother. I'm running after him like a psychopath.
Yeah.
Creighton just turns and he's like, looks at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, he hit me in the mouth. He's like, go back to the hut. Oh, screaming at me. Then, of course, on the sideline, Ian Erickson, I was already just hot. Me and Ian brawling.
Yep.
Creighton, are you guys good? Ian's looking at me, his eye got shut because I poked him on actually grabbing his face mask. And we're like, we're good. And then it ends and Brogan throws a slant route, follows through and punches Hendricks square in the helmet. And I run behind just to grab Brogan because we're boys.
Yeah.
I grab him like this. Brogan turns around and just grabs my face mask. Don't do that. And then we
He just wants everybody to be together.
Yes. And we got into it, and then it just turns to a brawl. And Craig just blows the whistle, and we're
chopping.
dead tired. He's like, start chopping them.
Yeah.
It was 3 periods straight, 15 minutes straight of up downs. And everyone just walks in the locker room like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And the next day, Bulla comes in there. You know Bulla, low-key loves it. He's like, all right, guys. He just has tally marks under everyone's name. He's like, Max, there's 6 here. He's like, I can't defend you. He's like, maybe 2. He's like, I can't defend you. And I'm like, all right, I got you.
That was a
We're
big
just
culture
laughing.
change, though, because before and prior you coming here, there was multiple occasions of full team brawls. I'm sure that was a part where you were like,
We were told
how
on
do I
scout
get this
team.
out of here?
We were told on scout team they're playing soft. It was when my redshirt freshman year or my freshman year. The defense is playing soft. If one of you guys don't swing, you're running after practice and then you're rolling.
Yeah.
I'm like,
It's a little different.
He's cringing right now. He knows.
I'm like, all right, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And it would just be a brawl, and
Yeah.
then it'd be done.
But
Cole Gardner got his chin broke.
Yeah.
Jaw broke.
His jaw broke.
Ripped his helmet off, had his face pressed against the ground, and punched through it.
Wow.
Who punched him?
We won't name
We
it.
won't name it. Okay.
So how about
The
how
people
about
we were
the
talking
April
about
Fools?
earlier.
Oh, I already know. Yeah.
Yeah, the April Fools with
Soccer
Steels.
buddies.
You guys remember that?
Oh yes.
Talk about
Steals.
fights
Yeah.
with the April Fools.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Steals.
That was
It's
before
spring.
my time. That was 2018.
Boom.
Yeah.
It was with him and
Or not
Fools.
2018,
Thorne.
2014.
Yeah, he had
Remember
a big scene.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, you remember.
I remember.
Yeah. So I was
remember
remember April
Steals.
Fools.
Yeah,
And so
believe me.
I brought those
your
two
Christmas.
guys
This is
in
good.
and said on whatever play 13 of team, you guys are getting in the fight. Remember?
Yeah.
And because Steele's a little bit of a loose cannon. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Short
Short
wick. And so remember, I told him, I said, so Steels, you're gonna walk off, and I'm gonna be screaming if you walk off.
Yes.
You're
done.
You're done. and then
Teammates
you
were
got to
dragging him
keep
back
going.
on.
And so no
Trying
one
to
knew.
tackle him on the field.
Coach Williams was like,
No.
I'm not letting him leave. And then Steele's kept going. Remember that? It was just like dead quiet.
He's chucking his helmet. I do remember this
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah,
That was
no,
gold.
dude, because we didn't know each other yet.
Yeah.
It was that first spring, and so
Probably the wrong person.
Yeah, it's a good
I
start.
thought it was the perfect way. Other than it happened for real, right?
It was actually happening in real time. It was very
And all your
believable.
backs were at the entrance, and so after practice, I mean, everybody was like, it was like, seriously, it was like totally quiet. It was like,
Yeah.
what just happened?
Yeah.
And then he comes walking in. You know what I mean? Do you remember that?
That
We're like
big old
April
grin.
Fools.
Yeah.
And then all of you are gonna like, kill me. But
It's funny, but it's because
Classic.
you get to know these guys so well. They're like your brother, and you're really, it's like, I don't want you to leave because you would help this team. It's more like, I know where you come from.
Yeah.
You need this.
Well, you're going
this is
back
where you
for
need
it.
to be. And
Yeah.
we're all like, don't do it.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah.
Just stay.
I remember that.
Please.
People were dragging him.
oh, they were.
He's ripping them off.
physically trying to restrain him.
And at that point, they're like, no, let him go. Let him go. We're done.
Somebody gets
He's
hit,
gone too
fucking
far.
leave.
Yeah. Do you still do some April Fool's tricks? Because we know you're a trickster.
You got to bring that back.
You
Oh
do?
no, it's still going.
Okay, good.
Yeah,
Good.
Have you guys? You haven't gone to Pikes Peak this year, correct?
not yet.
When is that? Are you looking forward to it?
I am.
What climb is this for you? What number?
That's a good question because we had COVID.
Okay.
So 4, and this will be 15.
Is there ever one time where you enjoy it?
What's that?
Has there ever been one of the 15 where you're 14?
I love it every year except for my second year of doing it in '98 because that's when I got sick, and so I vowed I would never come back.
Yeah.
and then you went the next year.
Oh yeah, God. Yeah.
Did you climb it twice?
No, I did it once.
Pat
I think OC
Pat
did. Yeah.
Yeah, Pat.
Pat.
I know he was trying to like skate
Oh,
it,
no.
saying
I
that he already
climbed
did
it
it.
too.
Someone's a little light around the table.
Yeah.
0.
Someone's a little.
Zero.
He doesn't know what it's like out there.
That's why I declared early.
That was on the pro and course. The whiteboard.
Yeah.
Every year I see
Some
it
of
on
the
my,
league just call my
every
name.
year I see it in my memories.
That mountain's looking
That
at
whole trip, like, because we were just like taking videos. That's like when Snapchat first started.
Yeah.
So we're like taking Snapchats and putting stories up, and then every year it pops up, and it's like
People
50
laying down.
video corpses.
Oh, of course. What do you mean, Odie and Ike? Almost.
Yeah, mine.
That was
You almost threw him off the mountain. We almost literally threw him off the mountain.
Odie wanted to
We're like,
kill
it's okay,
Ike.
boys.
Bro.
We're almost there.
Pat and like Herc and all, they were literally wanted to kill me. There was like a group of like 5 of us. It was like me, Wiley, Coach Bola, AB, and we were climbing the mountain. And I started by carrying Dion's backpack for a little bit to
Oh
start.
my God.
And then we had to send him back down midway point.
On the train.
Dion had to go down. The guide was like, "Hey, this isn't gonna go."
Odie did though.
Yeah.
Odie did it.
Odie made it. Yeah.
Well, after carrying the wrench, pushing Dion, and carrying his backpack, you know where my mind went. It's like, get me off this mountain.
Get
Yeah.
me
flight.
now.
Bro, we were so far ahead that Pat sit down. Get the fuck back! I'm gonna kill your fat ass. He's like literally trying to carry people. I'm not waiting. I'm going. I'm not. I'm sorry, but I'm not
Knees
sorry.
are screaming.
Dude, so we'd sit
Yeah.
there, we'd be sitting down, waiting for them to catch up, and then everybody's just winded. And as soon as they'd get there, Bullet'd stand up, and we'd follow, and
yeah.
we'd start walking
That's
again.
what Bullet said. He's like, I'm not waiting for
I'm not
these
waiting.
guys. I'm
No.
going. I'm
Well,
going.
that's
I'm
what
on
Luke
mission.
McLean
I'm
did
going.
on ours.
Oh, I know.
Remember Luke
Oh,
was
yeah.
miles
Yeah.
ahead of us. We're on the ground, and you can see Luke just sitting there, and we're like screaming. You're so mad. We're all like,
so mad.
I'm gonna kill him when I see him.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
That
gonna
was
kill him
us.
when I see him. What do you learn? So anyone that doesn't know, obviously, Coach will take the seniors out to Pikes Peak for like their senior trip.
Yeah.
It's a great way to kind of hone in your team goals and to talk about them and like where the team's at, et cetera. So, but for you doing it over the years, what is like the coolest learning moment for you or for the guys, or what point do you try to drive across through that experience? Because we're trying to plan how do we bail on it? How do we miss it?
Get out of
You
it.
know, I mean that's the truth.
How do you get sick the week of?
But then you do it, and it's like this is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's one of those things where while you're doing it, part of it's fun and then part of it's super hard.
Yeah.
But then, I don't know. It's a pretty cool accomplishment, I think. And doing it, with your closest friends right before your senior year, it is analogous to what we're about to do, right? I mean, like you're about to climb a mountain, and you got to start at the bottom. You got to win one at a time, and there's going to be hard parts, and you got to carry each other, and you got to work together, and at times you don't think you're going to make it, and you got to keep going. But I just love the fact that most people haven't been to Colorado. certainly most people haven't climbed a 14,000-foot mountain,
Yeah.
before, and you're doing it, with your best friends. And so, yeah, I just think a really tight group, becomes
Doing something really hard together.
yeah, really tight together, and just a really cool experience. So
True team bonding.
True team bonding.
Yeah.
And to your
Yeah.
point, I remember vividly with guys like Ike, and you get guys who are from tough areas who have never gotten out of that city or haven't traveled much.
Yeah.
They got there and they're like,
In the
oh my
woods.
God, I've never seen this. I've never been on a mountain. Like, to your point, it's
right.
cool for them to be able to experience and see with their own two eyes something completely different that's still right here. So, no, it's fun. I wouldn't do it again.
Those
but-
trips are the best, though.
But it-
You remember the beach? We went.
Yeah,
Oh,
That's
Lake
right. We
Michigan.
did capture the flag in Lake
Yeah.
Michigan. Slept in
running
the
up that
sand.
hill.
My back was fried when you wake up. But it was legendary. Everyone's
Krill was chasing Reggie
He
around.
really thought he
and
could
couldn't
catch
him.
Reggie.
Yes.
Reggie had that air horn, and he wouldn't stop blowing it, and Creel just went psycho, and then realized it's Reggie, and
Yeah.
he's just grabbing sand.
No, bro, I was so close. I was grabbing, and then I saw him just obviously separating. I literally did a. You just don't. And I got so much
last
more.
effort.
I mean,
I thought I
face
was
to
watching
sand.
Baywatch. Pretty sweet.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm just laying there. I have sand in my eyes. I'm laying on a hard piece of whatever. I'm just trying to fall asleep, and I hear Reggie. I'm like, dude, one more time. I'm getting up and I'm beating your ass. I'm like, this is your last warning. And he already knew. He was like, a good
Yeah.
safe 5 feet. And he, oh my god.
I mean, he's a state champion track runner. Like, he was a
Oh,
burner,
yeah.
so there was
He
no
could
hope
fly.
there.
And then the beach workout, the 6 a.m. or it was like 5 a.m., 6 a.m.
Did it
something
go into the
ridiculously
water?
early. Get in the water. McKeefery was running it.
Where did you get
was
that
sick.
from? Like, because obviously when I came in, Tressel was a huge person you looked up to. But where did you kind of get like these off-season team bonding things from, or is that just something in yourself? You're like, hey, this is cool. This is something I think would be like a fun tradition for the guys.
yeah, I mean, you got to figure out. I've always just really, I don't know. That's some of the fun part about it, man, is seeing guys from all over, right? Different, all the different kinds of diversity actually come together and be a team. And, just wearing a jersey doesn't make that, you know what I mean? And so, like, I've never done the beach thing before because we've never had, the sand dunes and Lake Michigan and all that. So, Coach McKeefery, so remember I had him his senior year, and so, like, we did Pikes Peak the first time together ever. It was 1997. And so he went off and was, in charge of all these programs, and so it was just so cool coming back and doing that together. And so I think it was probably his idea, to try to get out.
I love that, man.
Oh gosh, yeah,
The best.
The best.
He really is.
unbelievable,
Yeah.
He's
unbelievable.
all
He's at
time.
Bama now too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's at
But
Bama.
he's not the strength coach, right? He's like a
assistant or not
to
a
the head
director
coach.
of yeah.
Yeah.
something like
You know
It's
how
an
it is down
interesting
there. They got
SEC
40
title.
of them, though, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
that. Yeah.
He's heavily involved, but I don't know that it's in the same, direct.
I mean, as long as that man has contact with the team, and
Yes.
like,
And he
that's
has a
all-
voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's one of the most influential people that we had.
No doubt.
No doubt.
yeah, truthfully.
You want to kick it to some segments?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
All right,
Let's do it.
Mount Rush. You got
Oh yeah. Okay. So we have our segment called Mount Rush. We have everybody, give their 4 greatest, whether it's a coach, player, whatever position they play. So in your opinion, who's your Mount Rushmore of coaches all time?
Oh wow.
In your opinion, not just the basic answers. Who helped you and influenced you? Who you think's the best?
I just named one, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
One of them's got to be. Yeah, I would assume is Tressel.
JT.
Yeah,
But-
so that's really good. Yeah, so I'm going to say Jim Trussell,
Yeah. Buckeyes, baby.
although he never hired me, and I asked about. I got up to probably 38 times.
no one's counting.
No,
No
I
one's
would count,
counting.
yeah.
It's 47.
Coach McCartney at Colorado had a huge influence on me as well.
Okay.
And I would say Neil Nethery. I'd put him in that in terms of that group.
That's a young Belichick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Straight Belichick. The outfit, everything.
And
Do your
then
job.
you said greatest coaches ever.
Yeah, just year 4.
Yeah, and then I'd say Tony Dungy.
Tony
Oh,
Dungy.
that's a good one.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
did it with class.
Yeah.
I remember you used to, I don't know, was it a book of his used to kind of
Oh, yeah.
quote out to us back in the day,
Oh, yeah.
Dungy?
Yeah, the mentor leader. That's
Yeah,
our big
mentor leader, yeah.
program now, and he'll do a Zoom with the team. I mean, you know what? Let me say this about the great coaches and probably the great players and athletes and stuff too. The actual great ones,
Yeah.
those guys have always responded like to a letter or an email and whatnot. And then those of us that think we're great, we never have time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, it's
Matters.
crazy, and how Coach Dungy has been, just helpful with us.
Yeah.
And Tressel's always been that way. And McCartney, after my second year of coaching, I wrote him a letter. You guys probably don't know this, and I said, I'm going to call you every 2 weeks until you agree to meet with me.
Yeah.
And so his secretary called and said, don't write any more letters, and he agreed to meet with me. So you know what I mean? But it's just
Yeah.
like, sometimes you got to use threats.
You'd have a hell of a career in sales.
Hey,
So,
you gotta
love
make
it.
it happen.
That's awesome.
All right, we're on to Creel next.
So-
Ooh, keeping it Creole.
Keeping it Creole, just a this or that
like
thing.
that.
Here we go. So,
Oh, yeah.
in terms of being a head coach, what is your favorite game to coach? A offensive shootout or a low-scoring defensive game?
gosh.
Hard-hitting questions on the ref.
Yeah, just games we win. And I'd say,
Games that we're on top of, whether it's
More
7 to
points than
6
that.
or
yeah, I would say just because I've spent more time on the offense, if I had to choose one.
Shoot 'em out.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
if there was one team or season in your EMU career to have back and start over, which would it be and why?
Have back and start over.
Yeah. No, my
17.
Answer. Yep.
Yeah.
17.
Yeah.
2016 was like miraculous.
Yeah.
We got
And then
number
we
one.
beat Rutgers. So we just had this great stretch, and then lost the 3 overtime games and to Army. And I mean, it could have just been
Western.
so.
We had them on.
We
We
had
had
'em.
had it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Heartbreakers.
Yeah.
But that was
Heartbreak.
season you're asking, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. 17.
I still, that year bothers me still.
It's funny because I remember Dylan Saccone. He would come up to me when we came back to a golf outing. This is maybe 2 years ago, and he's like, "That 17 team your last year, that was our best team and the best opportunity." That I'm like, "You're just saying that. You're just saying that." And then the more you think about it though, and you look at the guys that were there along with the staff, you're like, "Gosh, man, yeah, you're right there." But those are the things that push you, and whether you do football afterwards or anything else, you're like, I'm going to get my get back, whether it's in that, it might not be football, but you're going to get your get back in some way just because those things push you. As crazy as it is to say, this dude still remembers the bowl game. So, yeah, that season, man, the talent was there, the games that should have been won that we just had, but it's adversity. I mean, that's the one thing I truly learned the most from with you, and we had this talk a bunch of times, but just the adversity and being able to overcome that. And I remember you saying, you're the king of adversity. Like, you know how to overcome it now.
you do.
And that's something I carry, truthfully, now when something is irritating me or I feel like I can't push through, it's from everything that I've learned, the lessons that I've had with you and with the team. I'm like, bro, you're built for this. You can easily get by. And I think that season is just a huge point of it. And it helped the adversity through that season, helped the future teams that have came through here as well too. So
100%.
No doubt.
yeah.
If you had to coach another sport on campus, what would it be?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Another sport on campus.
You seem like a rowing guy.
Gosh, that's a really good question.
Yes. We have
Wow.
table tennis here.
Yeah. Can we start ping pong?
Hey, you could.
Rec
Bring it
league?
to Division One.
Oh, let's start pickleball. I am
my
part of the
Or pickleball
reigning
hat.
staff championship
I can
team
only
from last
imagine
year.
you on a pickleball.
I can see
Screaming
headband,
at
right?
everybody.
Yes.
I was almost
Headband,
late to
At
the
a
net.
team meeting during camp
He said I was almost late.
because it was the finals. And it was so hot out, so I came in, I was totally drenched. I made it on time, but
That was the final.
Sweat.
Sending in teamwork, so pushing the meeting back an hour. You got something to deal with.
starting pickleball.
Bad traffic.
Hypothetically, if you had to remove one of your traditions, which one would it be? Breaking the wall or carrying the wrench?
Oh gosh.
Hard hitters.
He's like, how do I group this
Resign.
together?
We all agreed that would be the answer. He said there's no way.
Yes.
Last one, semi.
Wait, what? That's your answer?
Yeah.
There's he can't.
Yeah.
2014 obviously came with all of its challenges. What was more challenging, to get some of the guys to stop smoking or to stop cussing?
Yes. That's a tie for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Well,
bring it
I,
out the
I failed at both, but you can't say I didn't try.
No,
Yeah,
yeah,
you certainly did. You got me to stop for
Valiant
2 years.
effort. Valiant
Not
effort.
cussing.
yeah.
Huh?
So
Cussing was the
Cussing
one that
was
was
impossible.
just.
Yeah, I mean,
It was so funny and so irritating in the
so
same
bad.
moment.
It was,
Oh, quick
it was
three.
funny when you get.
Quick three.
The subtle
No matter where you
It
were.
was funny when
No
you got
matter
like
where
the
you
quick
were.
3, and then you're pissed and you start cussing again, and he hears it, and you end up with like 12 to 15, and then it's just pure rage.
This is bullshit.
I'm just it's just.
I think Dustin Daniels got me on like a couple hundred, and I think I was just for like 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I went one of those little, yeah.
Yeah.
You were in the
Tangents.
bubble, you know, it was like spring ball, it was
Oh, it was
115
winter
degrees in
conditioning.
there.
Oh yeah.
you know, I have not had a sip of soda pop since May of 2014
What?
because 2 guys were on their last strike.
I remember that.
Yeah, and at the time, I mean, I probably drank
And that-
6 or 7 Diet Cokes a day or
And that
whatever.
was like, you're like, thin.
And I just
That
said,
Coke.
yeah. I said, I'm
yeah.
giving it up.
I'll meet you there, yeah.
And just so that you guys, know that I'm having an Arnold Palmer anytime that you guys are being tempted. And I'm serious, I haven't done it since. Yeah,
I've had that.
Totally
with the
believe you.
Snickers.
Yes, sir.
I thought that was for Lent. I didn't know that was like a full-time thing.
I've done it May of 2014, promise
Wow.
Wow.
Good for you.
Good, yeah.
you, 10 years.
Man of
10
conviction.
years.
So if you're trying to lose weight, you don't put cereal in the pantry. Get it out of the house.
Get it out. Burn it. I don't.
And how are you prepping for Pikes Peak without the track now? With
That's
with
a
the
good
mailing?
question. So I actually go down the path that goes down to the village
Okay.
and make it a loop.
Scooter
Oh,
trail.
nice.
Yeah, so you scooter trail.
Yeah.
You guys were big time before big time ever. You guys had those
We
scooters.
find a way to bend the
yeah.
rules.
Yeah.
The freshmen are still living there in the village, or they
Oh,
moved?
yeah.
They're still there.
But then sophomores are going into the new
the new.
deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's crazy.
All right, we got Rush Mail next. So Rush Mail, we do some fan submitted questions.
Okay.
We got some good ones in here, so
Good.
we're gonna take a little time on these. First one from an EMU legend, Sergio Bailey.
My dog.
Big
When you
Serge.
think back to the 2016 team that got us to the first bowl game in 30 years, what was different about us as a group?
Oh my gosh.
Sergio.
Great. dude.
Yeah. I mean, he is. You mentioned him earlier. I mean, yeah. He's got a knee tattoo. He does, man. He does. Love that dude. And
He does.
The coolest dude ever, by the way.
He is.
Just cool.
Smooth.
Beyond
Smooth.
Smooth.
Bowling
Yeah.
Green Catch, and then the Central Michigan.
Central.
You know what's funny?
Yeah.
He texted me today. Sorry to get off topic. He goes, ask him, make it anonymous, but now it's not. He goes, what is his favorite Sergio and Brogan moment ever? Because he's always texting me, he's like, we had the best connection, bro. And I'm like, I still love you, don't worry. It won't
That
go
back
away.
shoulder.
The back shoulder
That
against
back
Central
shoulder
right there.
against-
Undefeated.
It happens
It-
over and over
Yeah,
again.
it has to be
Unreal.
that. But like the greatest catch would have been Bowling Green.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, dunked on him.
He was
that was
different.
before
Dunked
they-
on him.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That Central one was electric.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
wow.
You jumped on the dog pile. I ran
tackled him.
away.
I tackled him.
was life
I
changing.
literally tackled
That
him.
was
It was.
He
insane.
couldn't breathe, neither could I, but it was.
I think I was actually
worth it.
crying.
Yeah, no, it was because it sent us to the bowl game.
Send us to the bowl game.
And we beat
Got us
Central
bowl
at home
eligible.
on senior night.
Yeah.
We don't forget.
That's why the 2016 team, though, is the greatest of all time because of everything that we had gone through.
Yeah.
And you guys believed and persevered. And then we did, I mean, in football terms, I mean, it really was
Yeah.
crazy what we did in 2016. So,
Yeah.
It's legendary.
And we had so much in the tank still, which is crazy.
Yeah. Bahamas.
Tyrion's like, no, I was running
No,
on fumes with my
he
knee.
came out of retirement.
Yeah.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
where I'm supposed to be, man.
Double
I tell
knee
them that all the
braces.
time.
You're on running time.
Uh-huh. Well, not on my terms, though. All right, it's positive. Angel of Death wants to know first memory of Max and the boys, but we'll do first and favorite. So this is a two-part question. What's your first memory of the group, and then what's your favorite memory of the group? It could be individual, could be a collective, because there's usually we were together. But whatever you think. So let's start with this. What is your first memory of us collectively or individually?
He's like, how do I clutter all the bad things out of my brain?
No.
Well, came in, tested, and you were on the list.
Your name was in there.
Hey, your name was Bull. This is.
Golly day. First memory, like of each of you guys. I mean, Brogan was the one that had, like, in the interview and all that, it was just like, we have the best quarterback in America that came. Like, you're right, you were you started as a freshman and all that kind of stuff. And so he was, like, all the talk in the interview process, right? When you're, talking to a coach and all that kind of stuff. And so obviously it was super attractive and exciting, getting to know you, and you've got a larger than life personality and all those things. So, I mean, that was the first memory with meeting with you is just excitement. You know what I mean? Like,
definitely.
Man, we've got, all these years to do this. This isn't my first memory of you, but listen, when they were shaking the chains and you're doing that bench press and you're screaming, I'm like,
And his traps are.
oh my gosh.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
that
The
would
cutoff,
be Eastern Michigan football, to me forever.
That's our logo
You know what I
right
mean?
there. Yeah.
The shake and change.
Should
was
make a
electric.
silhouette.
You just hear it from
This is the
outside.
traps to
Yeah.
my ears.
Shooting to the moon.
I mean, I hate saying this with you, Creel, but I mean, it wasn't right away, but like when you got injured, I mean, there was just, that was just like, everything was quiet for a long time. You know what I mean? I don't know,
Yep.
so everything's a blur, right, in the first 3 months and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was just that was a hard deal. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And
It's crazy.
so, but you texted, or wrote me a note a year or two ago or whatever that I will always have. It meant a ton. And then, I mean, I remember in the hallway outside of my office after the camp,
Yep.
offering you, you and Hunter Andrews.
Yep.
I definitely remember that. And then I remember watching you play basketball. And then the other third memory is the third time I saw you that I thought you were going to Calvin Klein.
He wishes.
I wish.
That was the first memory would have been those things.
I
Classic.
love it. All right, Aaron Hoffman, 1994 says, "How did all the boys do on their hike up Pikes Peak?"
We hit on that.
This group?
Yeah,
I killed it.
Yeah, Max was stellar.
I impressed myself.
That's all
good.
that matters.
Yeah,
Dude, when
That's
you
all
make
that
it, you made it.
You
I
You're
mean,
in
but
those
there's-
clouds up
You
there.
did it.
you got the element of like people were dropping like flies because of the altitude sickness.
Yeah.
So you don't know who get like Daquan Pace got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah.
Yeah.
like lighter than anything, in
180
the greatest
maybe.
shape, dropping like flies. Mike Brown got it.
It's hard.
We were actually, this is perfect. We were arguing this walking in here, and I was like, I'll go put the cleats on and we'll do agilities right now.
Oh, here
I
we
go,
go.
you run with the receivers? I said, you must have forgot. I'll get down with the receivers. And he's like, I will dust you right now.
Torch
Which he
him.
might,
Might?
but at least tell him, at one point
might.
here, I was at least going with the
No, he
receivers.
was. I did respect that.
We were-
But that's what I liked about that off-season program with Hale and Fink
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
if you win in your D-line group, then you get to move
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
And that was my goal. I'm like, all right, boom, linebackers, easy work. And then it was DBs just getting after it. But those were,
I remember
I
coming
mean,
to the
you're
bubble
talking
and you're
about
running against the
competition.
DBs. I'm like, what is Max doing?
yeah,
And then, I mean,
flying.
it was
I
right
still,
there.
to this day, baby.
I was going to
I
say,
run with the DBs.
you continued
I
it.
beat
man.
him.
It's
Beat him.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
But it's, I mean, you said it too. One of the things that stuck, I mean, a lot of things that stuck with me over the years, but you said it on the field. We're getting ready for the bowl game. And remember, Bulla had us pushing that massive sled across the field. And guys, your legs are just fried.
Oh, yeah.
And then we finished with gassers at the end. And it was me, up in the front, somebody else, a couple other guys, Brody. And you were like, when your best players are your hardest workers, you're going to have a good chance to win.
doubt.
That stuck with me. I still
No
use
doubt.
that to this day. And
Amen.
it's so true. You got no other choice. When your other guys are seeing your standout dudes, leading the way, you're like, I got no other choice. Got no excuses.
Yeah.
So yeah, that stuck with me forever.
When we get off camera, have you seen the Coach Bulla video of him in the weight room that one year?
Oh my God.
You've seen it,
Oh my
right?
God.
Wait, of him, you leaping?
No,
Bulla.
No.
Pull that up right now. We're gonna put this.
sorry.
We're gonna clip this in.
Yeah, we can
Bro.
put the, we have to put
I
the
can't
video.
wait
We
to
still
start
send this to this
screaming.
day. What is it? Look at the
He
date.
eats
16.
shit.
Wow.
Just in there getting it.
I'd never seen this,
Yeah.
man.
Oh.
He said, "Fred, get the camera."
Hey, this is even the best part. And you know what? I applaud this. He's working out. He's walking the walk with his guys.
Oh, yeah.
The best part is he looks at the camera and he says, "Get this on camera," and then.
Look, and he runs out.
Strength and agility.
And he's laughing. Isn't that the best?
He was
videos?
one of a kind. He was one of a kind.
Yeah, we gotta ask before the next one. What's your best Chuck Bullet story? I know there's many.
He's my
but-
favorite.
Most of my best Chuck Bullis stories are stories that I heard, from the defensive staff, after. I loved, one of them is just how much food that he would collect and store so that he, had food to eat during the day.
Getting ready
It's
for an
just-
apocalypse.
Oh yeah, man, no. What a great man and great coach, man.
Unbelievable.
He's awesome.
Just yeah.
He's
So,
the best.
I remember spring ball. It was the first scrimmage, and he was just. I'm always there early, getting treatment, and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there like possessed, walking around the team building.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You seen any of my D linemen?" I'm like, no, and it pissed him off so bad.
was
He sat by the front door, and people would walk in because it's just a scrimmage during spring ball. It wasn't a big deal. He's like, it's fucking game day. He goes, "Why are you smiling?" He goes, "Get in there, get stretch, meet me on the field." He just kept on just picking every D lineman
I
off.
love that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
What do you mean? I forgot who the first one was there. It was like, I don't know who was there at the time, but somebody was like, they texted in D-line chat, like,
Get
Better
here.
get-
Hurry.
Get
it
here
was
now.
desolate. I walk in and he was
pissed.
searching the perimeter. He goes, "Why you late? Why you late?" My coach is 3 hours before this. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
He's like, "Where are your guys? You're supposed to be a leader. You're supposed to." I'm like, "Oh,
You'd
God."
run through a brick wall for him, though.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
I'd go in the army. Are you jumping from a bullet for him?
No, legitimately.
And
He was the type. When you talk about buy-in and commitment, and you probably, I'm not speaking for you, but like, our individual is probably the craziest individual in NCAA history. We were fighting each other every day. And Creighton would just, he would wander down, he would look at us, and you have 3 dudes on the bottom of the pile beating each other. And Creighton would never say anything. He would just let it be like,
I got tons of respect for Coach Bulla, man.
But it worked.
But that's where I saw the biggest
Sass.
change in you and Pat was when he came because he taught you guys to go after the ball, not
Ball
just get the
disruption.
sack.
Ball disruption.
And
I
so
mean,
it
there
was
needs to be a
always-
book written about him.
It was unbelievable.
Yes.
And you saw it from our side because you guys were always getting strip sacks or forced fumbles, but it was
Yeah.
always attack the ball, not the person, and it changed your guys' game.
It's attaboys. It's game changers versus attaboys.
Yeah, that's exactly
you get a
right.
sack, who cares? It's just like a TFL.
Yeah.
You get a strip sack, it's a game changer.
Yeah.
He would walk on the field pregame and have a Nerf ball in his hand.
You guys had it in your room and no one had to touch it?
No, he brainwashed everybody.
Oh,
He was
yeah.
amazing.
He just,
Oh,
That's
he
the best
said-
way to put it.
Yeah.
You talk about
Ball
setting the
disruption.
tone as a coach. I mean, you walk in that meeting room ready for war. He
Yeah.
would too. He would go in there, try to peek in, and just
Yeah, we
get
start
launched,
throwing
Nerf balls
balls
at his head.
Yeah.
You'd just be whipping him back.
Bull's like, yeah, probably not a good idea to pick a fight with the quarterback throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Max didn't care. He had 14 balls. Like dude from Elf, just
Yeah, just
firing them.
launching him.
Yeah.
Dwight Schrute, the
Before
snowball.
you get on that, D, just talking on Coach Bulla and then for yourself, what is like the most important quality, just one, you think to be either a head coach or just to be a successful coach in Division I football or a coach in general at all? What is the number one quality that you look for and that you think that they must have?
That's great, man. There's so many, but like anybody who wants to be a head coach or what, you have to know who you are, and then you have to have the ability to be who you are.
Yeah.
I think that that would be my
Yeah.
advice for anybody. It's like because you can get prepared, but it's at the same time you can't possibly know what it feels like and all the different things that are going to happen until you're doing it. If you don't know who you are, and if you don't then have the ability to like believe in who you are and how you do it, then I don't think you're going to end up
Yeah.
being very good.
Yeah. That's a good point.
Love it.
Cool. We got 2 more for you. Deshae, DePal 26.
Deshae
Boy,
Powell.
Love it.
Yeah.
Who had the greatest impact on Eastern Michigan outside of just being a good football player? Deshae with the heat. He had like
Yeah.
4 of them in there.
Yeah, he did have like
Love
4
Deshae.
Yeah.
I still talk to Deshae all the time.
Yeah, he was at your game the last game of the
Yeah,
year.
he came to the game.
Rogan was wearing this.
Yep.
We're
I
talking
should-
I
about
wore this
singling out one player
That's what
in the
Deshae
last
said.
11 years that had the biggest impact.
How about we do top 5?
That's a lot.
Top three.
Top 3.
You've been out. You've been out.
No order.
Yeah, there you go. No
I got a
chronological
couple off
order.
the top of my head.
I like that.
So I can't say the 2016
The whole team.
class or team
No.
because it's
I
individual.
don't make the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 people.
Okay. Man, that's so unfair. I mean,
A lot of guys.
yeah, there's
Top 3.
yeah, but I mean, like,
He's like, who do I not want to piss off?
no, I'm just saying, yeah, I'm killing us.
No, you're
No.
fine.
Yours is not so-
I'm doing your silent treatment when you're sitting in your office.
Yeah.
Dead silent, just tapping and staring. Tapping
Get
and
us to rat
staring.
ourselves
Look
out.
into your soul.
Yes.
You did it, huh?
Well, okay, so like, all right, I did it. I don't know how to do it more than, but I would say that Maxx is going to be in that group.
Definitely.
Appreciate that.
And again, you know, to like, for his story and all that, you know,
Yeah.
to be public and, you know, I mean, you're impacting thousands and thousands of thousands of people and impacting our program. You know, I would,
It's an honor.
you know, put you in that group. You know, I'm trying to think too, like, I think Jose Ramirez
I like that.
had a, like, he just knew who he was.
Yeah.
And such an attractive person, like to be around, so talented and all that. But like he just, you know, set a tone, you know, of humility in the team. And I mean, spiritually, I think the guys had a phenomenal impact. You know, and then I do, you know, would have to go with, you know, I don't know, take your pick from the 2016, you know, team, or even, because, I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just, it's a tie for a lot of people.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Well, I mean, you know, DT, we can take you.
Thanks, Ben.
I mean, you were always like glue, you know. I always looked at you as that, you know what I mean, in terms of with the whole team and who you were and how you grew. And I think too, just, you know, everybody's doing things in their own way, but it's like it's just awesome what you're doing, you know, with your life and the success with all of that. And then, you know, just talking about our football program, I mean, you know, the way that I tell the story is that when I was asking for help to start a collective, you know, I didn't even finish the sentence, you know, and you guys were like, yes, whatever the question is, yes. So Deshae's in trouble. That's really
I left
hard.
some of
It's
those
an
other
8-8,
ones.
mate.
But I
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
it. That's good answers.
That's great.
I mean, Shaq Van played here for 7 years and then coached here.
Yeah.
You know, how can I not say?
Yeah.
You know
No,
what I mean?
for
Both of his
It's like-
shoulders.
Jeremiah
Oh,
Harris is
yeah,
another
oh my
one you gotta
gosh.
think about.
Yeah.
It was-
Torchbearer leaders and just
It's a lot.
everybody's had such an
Torchbearer, man.
impact, man.
I love it. All right, last one. It's a lighter one for you. Situational question by Jake Palucci. Says you score to go up 6, fourth quarter, a minute and 50 left on the clock. Are you going for 1 or are you going for 2?
It's at the end of the game.
Yeah,
What's the score?
you're up 6.
Right, but if it's 6-0 or if it's 56-50, that
I'll
matters.
give you
Tweener.
28 to
35.
22.
There you go. 28 to 22. Don't know how we got there.
Wait, I'm curious. Why does it matter if it's 56-50?
Because if they can't score.
Because you
If
go
it's
for
6
2,
to
then
0,
it's
If they
a lot harder.
have never scored, you kick in the extra point because
Yeah,
they're not gonna score at the end of the
Right,
game. But
okay.
if they've been going through you,
All right,
Yeah.
right?
21,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
That does
21
make a
to
difference.
27,
Yeah.
a minute and 50 left in the game.
So I'll say it this way because this is kind of what. But yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it, but I always will believe in our defense, and I do listen to the chart. I mean, I always consider what the chart says, but also listen to our defensive coordinator too.
Yeah.
That's part of the part of the question, and with the answer, you don't want to just hear we got it no matter what. You want to hear a real answer. But I would say that also, I mean, there's a lot that goes into it. Like, do we have a good 2-point play? Have we used them already?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Philly special, which we did before. It was the Philly special.
I'm telling you.
LSU.
Yeah. No, I remember.
That was sick.
Yeah,
Oh, no,
that
I
was sick. Yeah, so I'll probably, in most cases, I'm probably kicking the extra point.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's a tough
Believe in the defense.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's crazy you've been in this situation. You mentioned Army. I remember
yeah.
you pulled us over, you took the time out, and you said, you guys want to go for it? Which I thought was cool because it's like, what do you guys think you can do?
Right.
And once again, you brought us in and had us have an opinion, and you already knew what we were probably going to say anyway. So,
Darn
But
right.
it's a feel though
Spin
too.
it.
I feel like it's energy
It
in
is.
the game. Like
It
you
is.
feel the momentum. You're
Army
like,
who's gonna
let's
pound
go
the
put
ball."
nail
Yeah, and so
in the
Coach
coffin.
Nethery was part of that.
yeah.
He was.
Okay.
He
He's
like,
said, you get a chance for it, go for 2. He actually said that in that
I
game.
like that.
Absolutely. That triple option is no joke.
So
We prepared for that Army more than any team in
It started
the
in
country.
camp.
I know.
Camp.
Yeah.
It started in
Yeah.
all the way back in
whenever
spring
we
ball.
could,
I
whenever
swear to
we could
God.
be with you. Yeah.
We would have the triple option. We'd go
Yeah.
through it just at least once a week to get ready for it. And it was difficult.
Yeah.
We tackled a dive. Tackle the fullback
Yeah.
dive. Me
3
and
yards
Jerry,
of
I think that might be a
dust, man.
record. Me and Jerry both had double-digit tackles when we
Yeah.
played Army.
You loved Army.
Like, I enjoyed watching, defense play, but like that was the worst game to watch because
Yeah.
it was
Oh,
Right.
the same play
hard.
over and over.
the one we played here in the snow, rain, sleet. That game was
Yeah.
one of the most
Was that
physically
McCaslin
challenging.
era?
No, that was
That
Nethery.
was later, yeah.
That was Nethery.
Yeah.
And they just, I mean, it was freezing. They just chopped you down,
Yeah.
chop you down, chop it. It was one of the most difficult
I would
games.
love for them to get rid of that.
Yeah.
But,
We played
if
two
they're talking about
triple
getting rid of the
options.
QBs, the push and the
butt-
tush push,
yeah, the tush
in the
push.
NFL, there's so much similarities, in my
Yeah.
opinion, in
Bunch.
that offensive scheme. But I understand why they have to do it. Or do
Yeah.
you love it?
Well, so here's the thing. They have taken out cut blocks,
Yeah.
and it's
Entirely?
still not
They
completely
like barrel
entirely.
ball.
Can't do it from the
What
side.
you would have thought that maybe the academies could not run triple option in the same way. I think it's made it a little bit more difficult on them, but
Yeah.
they're still doing
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
We played 2 triple option teams that year.
Yeah,
Played
Georgia Southern.
Army and Georgia Southern.
Yeah.
Southern was a lot more like on the perimeter, more athletes and stuff like that. But yeah, I remember we found out who we were playing. We're like, damn, another triple option team. Here we go. Yeah, that was fun.
That's it.
That's all we got this week, Coach. Thank you so much. It was incredible. You already know how we feel about you. It means the world just being here tonight. Obviously, it's going to come out in a later time, but tonight's going to be absolutely legendary. And can't thank you enough just for all the support you've given us, regardless if we're here and past football. You're like another father figure for us, and we mean that. And just want to say we appreciate you. We love you.
we love you.
Yes,
Love
sir.
you too, man. I do, man. This is a big deal for me.
Yes,
This is
sir.
awesome.
So,
Amen.
thanks for coming
All
by.
right.
That was
Hell yeah.
incredible.
Walk up in it like, yeah, I'm really am. Talking my shit like, I'm really am on God. Walk up in it like, yeah, I'm really am. Talking my shit like, I'm really